Recording in progress.
It looks like we're on now. Good evening. Welcome to the July 24th, 2024 meeting of the Town of Southampton Conservation Board. In accordance with the Town Board's adoption of Local Law Number 14 of 2022, the Board's meetings are being held both in person at Town Hall and via video conference through Zoom webinar. The link to participate in this meeting via video conference can be found on the town's website at the Town Clerk's Agendas and Meetings portal. You can also watch the live stream video and submit written comments for the public record through the town website. If you are attending via Zoom and wish to speak during this meeting, then please click the raise hand icon. As a reminder to all applicants, agents, and members of the public who wish to speak at the meeting, please state your name and handle of residence for the record. Thank you.
I'm waiting for the time when you have that memorized.
Oh, what a concept. And then somebody will change it. I would invite everyone to rise for the salute to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
What is your pleasure on the minutes of July 10th, 2024?
Move to accept. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Public hearing CB 22013 MIR Noyak Realty Inc.
Keep this very short, and I promised to George. This hearing was postponed because I think the board had decided they wanted some opinion from the planning department and planning board on the legalization of the stairway where it is. We had already agreed to, with Marty, on the conditions of the permit. We're just waiting for that resolution from the planning board, which I guess he just got.
Very good, Chuck.
Good evening, Marty Shea, Chief Environmental Analyst for the town. As indicated, this is an application to modify an existing Conservation Board permit that was issued to allow for modified shore stabilization as well as installation of a bluff beach access walkway. At the last hearing, it was decided by the board that the matter should be referred to the planning board for consideration to see whether or not the new bluff beach access walkway, which needs to be legalized by this board, whether or not its installation is consistent with the covenants that recorded as part of the Ross and Associates subdivision map. There is a copy of the planning board resolution that was adopted in your packets at their meeting on July 11, 2024. And as indicated, the planning board has found that the existing walkway is consistent with the covenants that were recorded as part of the subdivision approval and defers to this board in terms of the location and scope of the walkway structure. That being said, the reconfigured Love Beach access walkway was built to current environmental standards in that its decking is light penetrable and it is supported by untreated posts. As such, the existing walkway can be legalized by modified permit. As was alluded to the applicant, there are some remedial actions that need to be taken at the site. They include addressing clearing within an existing 50-foot wide scenic and conservation buffer, as well as removal and reconfiguration of existing fence lines. There is a unauthorized fire pit within the easement area that the applicant is willing to remove. There is a proposed boulder legalization / relocation and slow planting plan that was initially filed as part of the original permit that will need to be revised in order to show the existing reconfigured Bluff Beach access walkway, and also to address some additional needed revegetation at the site based upon a recent site assessment I completed. The survey as well will need to be updated and revised in order to note the planned changes to the existing fence lines, the removal of the existing slate fire pit, and the needed revegetation at the site. As indicated at the prior hearing, consistent with this board's standards, I am recommending that the bluff face be covenanted as a naturally vegetated wetland, non-disturbance, non-fertilization buffer, and that would take in the bluff landward of the staggered boulders along the shoreline. As this board recalls, there was a large amount of rock placed along the shoreline, which was inconsistent with a prior conservation board permit. The applicant has agreed to remove and reconfigure a large amount of that stone in a manner that you'll no longer have a vertical rock wall. You'll have staggered boulders of different sizes along the water line. As indicated by the applicant at the last hearing, they, I believe, are still in the process of finalizing permitting with the DEC, but as indicated, the applicant has agreed to all of the wetland impact mitigation measures that have been recommended by my office. That being said, we do have sufficient information to make a determination on this application. As such, I'm recommending that this hearing be closed tonight. Thank you.
Everything that Marty said, we certainly agree with. Just wanted to bring up on DEC, because DEC looked at all the Rawson properties as one permit and included it in one permit, and is not happy with what Marty and I think should be done with the rocks, as far as moving them some offshore, staggering them, that type of thing. Still dealing with that, and I don't know where it's going to go. I just want to make the board aware of that, because we can't do one without the other. But it certainly has nothing to do with the stairs, and the applicant already wanted to plant the bluff. I just told him just to wait until we had an approval for the stairs so we'd know what not to be planted.
Motion to close public hearing?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Advisory reports for the planning board, Jeffrey,
Thanks, Chuck.
This application relates to a new pending two-lot subdivision. The track is located at Hearn Place in the hamlet of North Sea. There are several recommended advisory comments. The first notes that the track contains extensive flooded town-regulated freshwater wetlands, which need to be preserved in their entirety and secured by inclusion within a conservation easement. Second, it's noted that protected forested buffers likewise need to be established, as they are invaluable as habitat for wetland-dependent wildlife, for natural filtration and uptake of pesticides, fertilizer, and sanitary waste, and as a noise and visual screen between human activity and wetlands. Thirdly, pursuant to section 292-39B, subsection 6, subdivision lots, insofar as is possible, need provide for minimum buffers of 100 feet for clearing or disturbance of natural vegetation, 125 feet for structures, and 150 feet for sanitary systems. Fourth, as the subdivision map as prepared by John Abruzzo, dated February 28, 2024, last revised May 18, 2024, falls far short of meeting such setback requirements. The application should be denied. And lastly, in the event that any further subdivision action is taken, the conditions of final subdivision approval will need to be referred to the Conservation Board for review in accordance with section 292-39B and 292-39C, subsection 4.
Motion to send those comments to the planning board?
Second?
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed for the ZBA 45 Pinecrest Lane LLC.
This is a pending variance application before the Zoning Board of Appeals for a lot in Noyak that's undergoing residential redevelopment. There are two recommended comments. The first is that, as confirmed by the applicant, construction of the residence for which an area variance is being sought has already been authorized pursuant to Administrative Wetland Permit number 20020 issued on April 8, 2020, as well as modified amended Administrative Wetland Permit number 20020 issued on September 4, 2020. As such approvals have since expired and the land ownership has changed, wetland permit renewal and transfer applications will need to be filed. And second, the survey is prepared by F. Michael Hemmer, dated April 15, 2019, last revised September 19, 2023, which was filed with the pending application, is consistent with the survey prepared by the same surveyor with the latest revision date of September 24, 2020, which was stamped approved pursuant to the referenced administrative wetland permits, with the sole exception of the proposed 2-foot cantilever on the west side of the new home.
Motion to send those comments to the ZBA?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The administrative wetland permits are in your packets. Resolution of conditional approval, A 023041, Jennifer Standing. This is postponed to August 14th, 2024.
Motion to postpone to August 14th, 2024?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Preliminary review seeker determination, A022082, Erlinda Bildner. This is postponed to August 14th, 2024.
Motion to
Well,
postpone.
wait a second. This one and the next one have been requesting postponements. It's only for the preliminary, and it at least 6 times. I don't know how long they can continue to do it, but it's like going to the checkout line at the store while your spouse is still shopping. I mean, either if they're not ready, then they should reapply when they are ready, or give them a very long date before we hear it again, so we know they are ready. It's not like it takes a lot of our time, but it's on the agenda every 2 weeks. It's ridiculous. We either hear it or we don't. Are they at all ready?
Bildner is still in the process of deciding whether or not to go forward with the project. In the case of the second application, we have indeed made some progress towards resolution of the issues. So I expect that we will be able to go forward with that application at the next meeting or the following meeting.
Okay, I hope so. I like to see progress. I don't like to see stagnation.
Motion to postpone till August 14th, 2024.
Second.
This is for A022082, Erlinda Bildner, and it's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A023022, Guillaume Savadier, and this is postponed to August 14th, 2024.
Motion to postpone to August 14th, 2024. Second.
All in favor? Opposed? A024024, Nicholas Lawrence and Raya Backer.
This application lists an existing residentially developed property in the hamlet of Remsenburg, Spion. There is a preliminary advisory report on file dated July 22nd, 2024. The applicant had received a notice violation and stop work order as they had commenced deck demolition and reconstruction. They also had significant water damage, requiring renovations to the home as well as replacement of a second level rooftop deck. They had considerable problem with failing gutters and leaders and pitched roof, so that enormous quantities of water were running off on the deck, on the upper level and lower decks, causing significant deterioration. They had commenced reconstruction in order to ensure that the family was safe. They had also replaced a deteriorated wood frame outdoor shower. So the deck reconstruction is not yet complete. They did stop the work. I did have an opportunity to have a lengthy meeting with the landowners at the site within the past week. I have, while I have no issue with the deck reconstruction, so long as untreated wood is used, which the applicants are amenable to, I have put forward a plan for establishment of a covenanted wetland preservation area and restored unfenced, covenanted naturally vegetated wetland non-disturbance, non-fertilization buffer. The applicants have agreed to establish those protected zones. There's also a need to reconfigure the existing fence lines, not only due to the encroachment within the planned buffer, but part of the fence line extends within the town road right-of-way, and there also at present is not a code compliant pool enclosure fence, so that's going to be addressed as well. I did recommend that the landowners install subsurface dry wells for catchment of all roof runoff. because notwithstanding the recent repairs, the downspouts are allowing the water to splash on the ground, which is again causing discoloration and deterioration of some of the siding. So the applicants have agreed to install a house and pool dry wells as well. I did provide a native plant list that's going to be used as guidance in developing a buffer restoration plan. So the applicant has agreed to all of the recommended mitigative measures. As such, we have sufficient information to make a determination on this application, and accordingly, the public hearing requirement can be waived.
Motion to waive the public hearing?
Second.
Resolved that the Town Conservation Board hereby waives the public hearing requirement pursuant to Chapter 325, Section 325-8 of the Town Code. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A 024025, Anthony Sicca.
This application has been filed in order to seek reapproval of residential improvements that were to be legalized or otherwise authorized by this board. The applicant in prior years had received a conditional approval that was conditioned upon coming forward with a draft covenant to establish wetland preservation area and restore naturally vegetated wetland buffer. The applicant never came forward with that covenant, so the conditional approval had expired. Thus the reason why a new application was filed with this board. There is a preliminary advisory report on file dated July 23, 2024, which describes the various residential improvements that had been previously authorized by this board. Site conditions with regard to the structures and hardscape have not changed. There has been some advancement in the wetlands on this property and the abutting property to the south, but at this time there's no reason to seek modifications to the project plans based upon the history of approval by this board. So the applicant has agreed to come forward with the needed draft covenant to establish the wetland preservation area and buffer as previously required by this board. Consistent with my recommendation, the applicant has also come forward with a revised revegetation plan, which is acceptable and can be approved. As the applicant has agreed to the recommended mitigation measures, we do have sufficient information to make a determination on this application, and as such, the public hearing requirement can be waived.
Motion to waive the public hearing?
Second.
Resolved that the Town Conservation Board hereby waives the public hearing requirement pursuant to Chapter 325, Section 325-8 of the Town Code. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Wetland permit modification, HCB 2113, Michael Rothstein and Maria Rothstein.
This is a property that was recently redeveloped at Tiana Circle in Hampton Bays. While the residents in large part is compliant with the prior Conservation Board permit, they did expand upon the accessory structures, including adding additional patio areas that need to be legalized. The initial board approval was conditioned upon establishment of a restored buffer. I'm happy to say that based upon my recent site visit, the buffer is in full compliance. There are just a couple minor issues that need to be addressed. There was a 6-foot high stockade fence that was installed along the property lines, partially within the buffer, as well as along a town road. So a portion of that fence needs to be removed, with the remainder reduced to a maximum height of 4 feet. There is some remnant wire fencing in part of the buffer that needs to be taken out. And then on the opposite side where the property abuts another residentially developed site, there are also some fences that need to be taken out of the buffer. Otherwise, the changes that were made in construction have not resulted in any new significant adverse wetland impacts. There is also, though, a stepping stone pathway that was installed from the rear of the residence through the naturally vegetated buffer down to the beach. I've asked that those stepping stones be removed, consistent with this board's restriction that any pedestrian access pathways through buffers and wetlands be pervious. So the applicant is amenable to making those changes. So there is a resolution before you in order to issue the requisite modified wetland permit, so that those final remedial actions can be taken, and the applicant can look to close out this permit and file for a certificate of wetland compliance and a certificate of occupancy with the building division.
Motion to issue the modification.
Second.
Resolved that a conditional wetland public approval granted to Michael Rothstein and Maria Rothstein, present proposed project of terms and conditions set forth therein. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution conditional approval, A 024024, Nicholas Lawrence and Raya Backer. Any discussion?
Move to issue conditional approval.
Second.
Resolved that a conditional wetland public approval granted to Nicholas Lawrence and Raya Backer, present proposed project of terms and conditions set forth therein. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A 024025, Anthony Secca. Any discussion?
Move to issue the conditional approval.
Second.
Resolved that a conditional wetland permit approval be granted to Anthony Secca for the proposed project upon terms and conditions set forth therein. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Is there any more business to come before this meeting? Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to postpone? Oh, sorry. Motion to close out.
Is there a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you all.
Right. Back to work.
There you go.
So Marshalls or Chico's? I mean, well, we could do Main Streets out there.
Yeah.
See you later.
All right.
But bring your husband's credit card.
I thought you were gonna give me your credit card.
No way.
You're the one telling me that I need to work somewhere.
Hi.
Probably took you more time.